Hi everyone, and welcome to potentially the start of your journey to a greater understanding about yourself and the world around you. As you all should know but somehow still don't, my channel is mostly about finding your true self by expanding and sharpening your awareness through significant experiences that can even reach beyond reality, but so does your true self. This can be achieved in many different ways, but I just happen to specialize in the most powerful media of the century. Therefore, my preferred choice for showing and teaching is usually video games and whatever attachments may come along with them. However, because of the high requirement of abstract thinking, intelligence, and often even knowledge, a lot of people unfortunately seem unable to bring up enough understanding for the value of this complex form of digital art. And this is exactly why I came up with a brilliant idea that hopefully helps you to get started to see things with a more keen eye. You know that we played a lot of games on my channel already in streams and videos, and I always wish I could give you a condensed review of each product and experience we check out here, but it would never justify the time and effort I would have to put for the production of those. So in the end I never went through with this original kind of plan that I had in the beginning. Instead, I usually do some sort of recap talk at the end of each playthrough on my streams here. So if you really want to hear my insight on things, you can always go to the last part of a playthrough and rewatch my stream, and then you will get my opinion on the matter. Otherwise, just post a comment and I can answer your questions there. Anyway, let's finally get to the actual point, because I think I figured out a way to replace my non-existent reviews of each title we check out here with something way simpler that everyone goes crazy for. Numbers. Ooh, numbers. Are they high, low, edgy, round? What number is it gonna be? Everything's so exciting all of a sudden. You see what I mean? It's a way easier access point for everyone other than an hour-long review of me talking about something you don't understand in the first place. Therefore, I want to try to establish a new rating system on this YouTube channel in which we rate every past and future software product we check out here. I'm not sure if I need to adjust this formula somewhere down the road, but to keep the simplicity, we want to start out with only 2 numbers for now, so let me explain what those are supposed to mean. The less important number is more of a bonus thing, but let's get this out of the way first. This number is simply a price tag. However, the price does not refer to the physical or digital product, but rather to the experience of the user of the product. Roughly speaking, how much should the user be willing to pay for the full experience that gets presented to them? Imagine you're in a theme park and you get to ride a roller coaster completely for free, and after you're finished with the ride, there's a tipping jar and you can tip any amount of money there what you think the experience was worth for you without being ripped off, and also without giving too little. And this amount is basically the price tag in my rating. The fair price that I think the full package is worth for the user. Alright, but next up is the rather important number. It's meant as a percentage, but I think I'm gonna stick to a decimal number between 0 and 10. So a 10.0 just refers to 100%. But what does the percentage even mean? Well, I guess here's where it gets a bit esoteric, because this number was meant to represent the aspect of gaming that I usually look into the most, and that is the potential of the message. Yeah, I know this just tells you as much, and that's exactly the problem. This number is similarly abstract to the ways of realizing messages in this media, therefore I saw this as a good opportunity for people to get started with this whole topic. So in this case, the potential is meant as the impact that the message can have on the user to grow more understanding and enhance their lives. The higher this number gets, the more the experience can lead you to a greater and deeper awareness, provided you fully understand and absorb the essence that is. And on that note, I want to reveal that there's also another secret meaning to this number, because the percentage is not actually a scale like a loading bar or something. You should rather see it as a brightness or color spectrum, and as a result, a bigger number is not better than a smaller one, It only points at a different spot on the spectrum. However, the plot twist is that the entire spectrum is meant to depict the full true self of a person. Consequentially, it shouldn't matter where on the spectrum you look, you can find puzzle pieces and interesting stuff everywhere that can help you with your own personal journey. But there's one more catch. I mentioned it in the beginning that the true self expands even beyond reality, and I want to make this more apparent here. In fact, I made it so that the lower half of the spectrum covers the conventional reality, and the upper half covers the inexplainable subconscious quantum field advanced reality. You better not quote me on that though. But I'm just saying that if you come across a number that is higher than 5, then chances are that you could completely miss out on a message when it goes way above your head and you're simply not developed enough to comprehend it yet. Higher numbers are pretty hard to come by, but I would argue if you manage to find and take in a number higher than 5, then it's almost guaranteed to be life-changing in one way or the other. And for that reason I would say they have a bit of an edge over the lower numbers, but in turn they take a lot more effort and experience, therefore they balance out each other and everything ends up kinda equal for the most part. But anyway, let's finish with a few examples to make sure that you get the hang of this new rating system. So let's have a look at a very well-known milestone in gaming history, pretty much the Columbus of the third dimension if you will. The one and only Super Mario 64. What would you say is a fair price of riding the entirety of this roller coaster for as much as you want? Imagine you had to pay a single dollar on average for each different star you collect in the game. Does that sound like a fair deal? Talking to Toad for $1? Hell yeah, sign me up. And for that reason I rate this game with a $120 price tag for the full experience, and we move on to the other number. So we had fun and all, but what did we learn? Where was the message? What did we realize by twirling Bowser in circles? To be completely honest with you, with my best efforts I could not find a singular message in this game whatsoever. Therefore I gotta leave this with a devastating 0.0 rating. And by the looks of it, you could get the impression that this game is a waste of time. But don't let those arbitrary numbers dictate your life. There are many other aspects besides the message that can make for a great experience. And you don't always have to learn something to justify spending your time. That being said, SM64 will forever stay a legendary game. And speaking of legends, there's another timeless masterpiece that is by many considered the best game ever made. And that is obviously The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I gotta admit, this is probably the closest to perfect that you can ever reach. There's hardly anything objectively that I can think of to criticize this experience. So the question is, what should be the price tag for the perfect game? And if SM64 is rated at a 120, then OOT has to be higher, right? Honestly, for this one I'm actually undecided. All I know is that it's somewhere between 150 and 200 for damn sure. I just don't know where exactly I should put it. If you have any better gut feeling, then let me know in the comments. But for the time being, I'm gonna put this at a 160 so we can move on. Alright, what about the message potential of the perfect game? Well, if you think this through, then there's nothing really mind-blowing in Ocarina of Time. Everything is rooted in the easy-to-comprehend reality. Roughly speaking, it kinda just helps you to grow up, but it does a pretty damn good job at that. And since we're looking for a high number in the lower half that is not quite boundary scratching, I hope you understand if I give this a 4.0 for the message potential. Okay, to close out the Triforce of games in the same engine, we're gonna look at one more similar example, and that is the sequel to Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. This game was put together in a pretty short time span, and you can tell that it's not as thought out in a bunch of places. and because of that it comes over as a bit of a mess here and there. So obviously when you compare this to Ocarina of Time, it always falls short in the overall quality. And when we rated Ocarina with a $160, I think Majora's Mask is pretty fine with a flat 100, and compared to SM64 the quality is just not up there. However, what is up there is the message potential. Opposing to the previous game, Majora's Mask is a much more profound experience, and it requires much more effort to take in the topics and meanings. It's a lot more abstract and complex, and not everyone is able or willing to go that far. And for that reason I have to put this game in the upper half of the spectrum. Therefore my rating for this is a 6.0. And if you manage to see how Majora's Mask can have you reconsider how you view your existence, while Ocarina of Time struggles to reach the same effect, then you've already come a long way to understanding this rating system. Either way, that wraps up the introduction to this new era on my channel, and I hope this can encourage more awareness of the power within gaming and also get you more involved with it to realize and draw out the potential for yourself. From now on, I will link a Google Sheet in the description of all of my videos and streams. And in case you miss when I release a new rating, you can check all of them back in that Google Sheet. So go ahead and test it out right now. Open the description, click the link, and have a look at all the games we rated so far as you watch this video. Do you agree with my made up numbers, or how would you have rated it if you were to judge? Let me know down in the comments, and please watch more of my content in general. I'm spending all this time and effort just for you, so at least give it a watch, okay? You click on whatever other crap anyway, so just click on my stuff instead. You can do this. Be the hero of the ecosystem. The power of the stars is restored to the castle, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. Thank you so much for watching my content.